my name is Rainbow and I'm a first year MIA student. I'm here at this boot camp because I want to learn more about financial regulations.
So I'm Itai Giffen. I'm from class 2014. I was thinking actually of studying EPD, but I came to this panel today to explore a bit more about financing, maybe see how I can combine it with development.
Do SIPA students have what it takes to compete for jobs in the financial industry? And what steps can they take to improve their career prospects? Those were the questions being asked on October 5th, the day of SIPA's first ever financial boot camp. Organized by Professor Peter Marber and the Office of Career Services, the day-long crash course aimed to give students a sense of the opportunities open to them in finance and how best to position themselves for a successful career.
I'm Peter Marber. I'm an alum of the school, class of 1987. I'm also on the board and have taught here since '93. One of the consistent messages we hear is that students just aren't prepared enough for the career search. And so the idea was to organize a day where we'd bring as many alums as we could from various aspects of finance and try to impart what it would be like to be in that position, how these alums got to their positions, and how SIPA students could begin their career search relatively early. The intention was to try to get to first-year students within the first month that they got here. I think we did a pretty good job.
The event represented a new approach by Career Services to give students a deeper look at the different specialties within the industry.
We have run in the past a series of what we call careers in focus that were highlighted on different areas of finance in the past. That we would do them like little panels, if you will. But Peter Marber just took the idea to a whole new level and said, let's do a boot camp where we have a whole day devoted to the subject of finance and educate students throughout the course of the day, with a lunch and a reception following, on the different areas. And he was just super about bringing other very seasoned people back to school to talk on a variety of topics, and it's turned out to be a fantastic event.
SIPA professors and alumni with long experience in finance shared lessons with the students.
What we've learned painfully through the climate crisis is a true aspect of what you bring to the table. One of the aspects I think you bring to the table, much more so than our friends and colleagues at the other school that we know so well, is risk management.
I think that there are certain sectors where SIPA students really can excel, particularly in the global space as well as public finance. One thing that we've been learning during the economic slowdown and crisis for the last few years is how important policy decisions are and how they can affect the marketplace. And I think that's an area that SIPA excels at in some ways much more than really most business school curriculums.
Some of the students who come to SIPA don't necessarily have a finance background, and so they are interested in making career changes, but perhaps don't have that knowledge base of what careers in finance can entail. So yes, I think employers are often looking for the skill sets that our students bring to the table, the global perspective, the experiences in other countries, the language skills, and the students certainly are interested in many cases following on that track or changing into that track of finance. So I see the demand on both sides.
Well, I think that in the case of finance, most people are lured into it just simply because it pays well. And because of that, everybody in the world wants to sort of jump into the space. So SIPA students have to be very specific as to what areas of finance they want to get in, why they decided not to pursue a traditional business degree. And I think if they do that early on and build internship and curriculum together towards their specific goals, they'll be much better off. And one of the things that we tell people in the finance club, I tell them all the time, don't burn daylight. Meaning you only have about 500 days here. Don't wait till like day 462 to say, oh, what am I going to do with myself when I graduate? You really should start thinking about that literally the day that you walk in the door.
And the students who attended the finance boot camp seemed to take that advice to heart.
My name is Anshul Elavadi. I'm from India. This is my second year at SIPA. and this conference and this discussion has been very, very helpful. I think when you come to SIPA, the kind of opportunities that you have, particularly in finance, are phenomenal, and it's very difficult to actually figure out what you're cut out for. And such advice from people like this, and actually seeing them in person and trying to understand whether you'd like to do what they do and be in their shoes is immensely helpful.
I mean, this was, it wasn't meant to be just a one-time thing. We actually do want it to be something of like the launch event for the SIPA finance concentration. So I'm hoping we'll do it next year with a different mix of guests, but ultimately with the same emphasis, which is to let SIPA finance students know that there's a broad array of careers that they eventually can get into, that they need to start early, and that we'll hopefully be able to follow up with additional events, whether it's more panels, whether it's workshops through OCS. We also had some interesting suggestions during the boot camp for things such as CFA study groups. We talked about online classes that people can also take to sort of supplement what they're getting here. There's just a lot of things out there that I think will be able to help push this whole effort forward. Hopefully the boot camp was sort of the catalyst event.